No need for that this week, and the only complaint, if ever there was one, would come from crews which hadn't done very well and could argue that the crosswind through the grandstand might have been unfair, but that would be a very, very tenuous argument and not sustainable on any real and hard evidence. So this is the men's Cox 4, won here in 1972 by Germany, its headline gold medal in that Olympics, and for this event, non-Olympics these days, we have Serbia in lane 1. Marko Marjankovic, Goran Gagar and Nikola Stojic in the middle of the boat, who we saw yesterday in the pair. We move in lane 2 to Great Britain with Phelan Hill in the Cox seat, Oliver Moore, Tom Wilkinson, Marcus Bateman and James Orme in the bows of that. James Orme with the dyed blonde hair. And in pole position in lane 3, Cox by Martin Sauer, Matthias Flach, Philipp Narun, Stefan Colt and Florian Minigan for Germany. That's a relatively, not very, but relatively young boat. And next to them in the other pole position, achieved in a race for lanes earlier in the week, the United States. Matt Deakin, Dan Beery, a former gold medalist, Sam Burns, Chris Lusky, another medalist, and Edmund Del Guercio for the United States. In lane 5, we have the Netherlands, Olaf van Andel, Christoph Koenders, Renda Lubbers, Rogier Blink, and their Cox by Jürgen Meyer. Now you see that in this event the coxswains are sitting in the front of the boat, and that's the Italian boat with Vincenzo Di Palma in the bow seat, in the bow bed I should say, because he's laid down in the bows there, and that contrasts with the adaptive Cox 4s which we saw yesterday, where the Cox sat in the stern. But it's deemed to be faster. It lengthens the hull forward of the oarsman and enables a straighter course to be run. So they'll start there.
I think everyone's going to be looking towards the Americans, the German crew here. Germans looking to pick up some medals to help the whole team's somewhat ailing performance in this championships. But the Americans, they're fairly comfortable in the race for lanes. We're certainly the outstanding crew, I think. Worth noting that this is actually the final time this Cox 4 is going to appear at the World Championships, so whoever wins this one is world champion forever.
I don't know whether the Germany Federation argued for its retention here, because it was here that Peter Berger and Alois Bierl and that wonderful four, Fahrberger won the Cox 4s, and probably they wanted its swan song to be on this course where the country earned its greatest glory back in 1972. You were right. I see the United States out in front, and it would look to me that Holland is in second place with Germany in close attendance.
Yeah, the Americans stroked very ably by Chris Lusky, who was in the US 8 last year, very confident performer, looking to step up into the Olympic classes next year. He's been kind of taking a bit of time off to focus on his career, but here opened up canvas lead. Cox 4 is relatively slow moving, so things can change, but they're heavy boats as well, and it's a bit of a strong man's event, much like the Cox pair yesterday.
It is a strong man's event, and that Germany 4, which I keep talking about because I happen to be in 10th place behind them in that event, was indeed made of 4 incredibly strong men, and that was the style in those days. People row more cleanly and neatly, and they do much more aerobic training nowadays, but nevertheless it's a hard work event, and that 4 led by Lusky looks actually to be making it quite light work, don't they? They're quick on and levering it through without making it look heavy at all.
Well, Chris is he did row at Oxford, and I've spoken to him a couple of times, and he always kind of says that he was seen as a very big, strong kind of performer at Oxford. But actually, the US team is so strong across the board that he's kind of seen as one of the technical guys in the US team. So I guess that's why he's in the straight seat. It's just a little bit heaved on the back, so we're starting to see the Dutch close up on them, and on the far side, Serbian crew with Goran Jaeger and Nikola Stojic, who from the Cox's pair performed very well yesterday, starting to move up on the field.
Yes, they're medal caliber, those two, Jaeger and Stojic, and have done it before. So this form of doubling up, we often mention it, but it's worth saying again. How can they possibly do an endurance event of such an extraordinarily exhausting event as this, and come back and do another boat the next day? And the answer is that it's actually much easier than it looks, because the type of training you do means that your recovery rate is extraordinarily fast. So exhausted and empty on the line, you recover very quickly and are back on form.
Serbia's coming through the line there in pole position. The US close attendance in the Netherlands, just about a quarter canvas or quarter length back. But I think the Serbians actually got a slightly higher base speed than the Americans. Their base speed is just what's bringing them through. There's not been any big pushes or anything like that. And I think we might see them in this 500 starting just to apply the pressure and squeeze on, rating 35 strokes a minute. Neither high nor low, really. It's kind of middle race rate. But here you can see them moving out to a canvas lead over the United States, and the field is starting to get stretched.
I have to say, I thought they looked extremely comfortable there at 36, and according to the graphic, they've just popped it up a little bit to 37, but that's, I think, because Luski had a little look across and picked it up as well, no doubt being urged on by Edmund de Guercio, the USA Cox, because he doesn't want to see the Serbian crew get away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's, at this stage of the race, coming into the last 650 meters now, it's here where it starts just hotting up. And the US, if they're going to start making an impact, they're going to have to start moving now. Serbians there, very clean.
That doesn't yet. There are a couple of them having a little look across, but it doesn't look stressed at all. You would think with a Cox there, as a former coxswain, you would be wanting to know why the crew were looking out at at their neighbours.
I don't think you can ever kind of stop that in athletes. I think if they're races, they'll look around anyway. But your job is really, as a coxswain, to run the race, to do the tactics. And at the moment, with 500 metres left, it's Serbia in pole position. The United States now in second, almost a length over what's going to be a fantastic race for that bronze medal, with Britain now moving into that bronze medal position. Focusing here on the US and Luski starting to raise that rate now, starting to move on the Serbians. Are they going to have enough to come through? Serbia on the far side of your picture, long and strong, but the Americans are starting to charge. They're absolutely neck and neck. 38.5 on the near side for the United States, 38.5 strokes a minute. That's high. As you can see from that, the Serbians perhaps a slightly higher boat speed as they come into 300 meters to go. And Serbia looking to stretch out now, that long, fluent stroke at 40 strokes a minute, Serbia. Starting to move, and it's Serbia from the US coming into the last 200 meters. This is going to be a fantastic race. Great Britain coming through to take that bronze medal position now. But it's still Serbia on the far side. The US here, Chris Luski stroking this.
Great Britain well back in 5th place earlier on. They're coming on with a big storm. They seem to have taken Germany. They've left Holland as well, the early leaders. And it would appear to be the medals to the United States, to Serbia, Montenegro, and to Great Britain. But it's Serbia
Germany neck to neck
in front at the moment.
No, this is US now, just coming through a couple of inches here. This is going to be very, very tight on the line. Serbia now squeezing out. Little over 50 meters left. The Americans, what can they do to hold on to this gold medal? Looks like they've got it. Fantastic sprint. Last 5 strokes. The United States cross the line first. Gold medalist and world champion. Serbia second, and Germany picking up the bronze medal. A lovely sprint from Germany in the last 500.
The Germany crew was definitely behind with 250 metres to go and picked it up again. Having been ahead of Great Britain, they squeezed them out again in that last sprint, and
the whole of the
British crew laid flat on the boat, and they're possibly going to roll in.
Yeah.
Marshall going over to see what they're up to there. But the United States not looking too stressed now that they've crossed the line.
I think the maybe all the exhaustion tends to fade when you got that. You realise you got the gold medal around your neck. But
Germany not yet ecstatic about their bronze medal, but they should be pleased with that, I think, because the two outstanding crews in that race were certainly the United States and Serbia.
Serbia
who are mistakenly called Serbia-Montenegro, but they ceased to be a combined nation 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, absolutely. It was a fantastic race there from the United States, and they've really swept through in the last 50 metres, really. But hey, fantastic. Joining us now is Matt Smith, just with confirmation there, of the Cox 4, United States in first position, champions, and as we said before, world champions for all eternity now, as there's not going to be another Cox 4 event. Serbia in second.